Hey, people, hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. Today, I want to go more in depth with the character creation in the world of Kung Fu. As I know, there's not very many guides on this game, so I've sort of played a little bit of ahead and sort of tried to grasp what all the different choices that they're going to make. And I'm going to try and digest it into a sort of like easy to learn little guide. So, the different origins here, right? They all have different sort of confusing descriptions, but you can sort of divide them into two types, right? So the top three ones are what we're going to call the toe stompers. Start you off with less kung fu knowledge and less abilities. However, later on, you will find characters in the game which will know you and acknowledge your origin with these three. And you'll have a chance when it says chance to learn a kung fu. That literally means like you have will have a sub quest later on, which will guarantee you a kung fu. These three, right? So these start you off with martial arts already, right? Some of these martial arts you will just learn over the course of the game. So it's sort of not as good, but it will also give you a variety of different stats, you know? But it also gives you a little bit more money. But basically, these will be better for you long term, and these will be better technically for the short term. Honestly, these skills as well, they're in weapon types that are not as appreciated as the others. And it takes a while to get toe stomp. I think it's really easy to get these from what I can tell. Anyway, as we go in, I'll sort of go over each stat, you know. HP, do I need to explain it? MP, do I need to explain it? But I will note that if you're doing the musical weapon type, MP affects your damage. So the more MP you have, the more damage you do. Attack, do I need to explain anything? Defense, do I need to explain anything? Speed. So speed sort of your movement speed. If you have more than 35 speed at the start of the game, you can get the ancient sword, which is okay sword at the beginning, but later on you can use crafting to make it even better. So the way that these martial arts, so these are the martial arts, right? So martial arts, they will like your affinity, beginning affinity with martial arts determine whether or not you're able to learn them at all, right? So, uh, I'll go over if it's not obvious. Sword, really good for line damage. Saber, good for horizontal damage. Staff, good for sort of AoE. Fist, best single target damage. Finger, sort of the same as fist, but more like special effects. Special is uh, special is sort of like unique attacks. Like one of them is like licking someone to heal them, and like kicking people in the nuts. So it's certainly interesting. Forging helps you like make armor and weapons and stuff like that. Kung Fu is sort of your basic aptitude for martial arts as a whole. A higher Kung Fu means you're better at making martial arts, etc. Stealing is you can't actually start with like the ability to steal, but you can learn it on low morality routes, and it will help you like every enemy you encounter will have a stealable item. And it's a good way for evil route people to get martial arts that they would normally be exempt from. And yeah, it's good. But if you're doing a high morality run, you don't really want this. Hidden weapon is another weapon type, sort of like it's more like a martial arts skill. This will allow you to use like daggers and stuff like that. Not very appreciated with the game. Wine art is sort of like buffs and stuff like that. It's another sort of way of using martial arts. Healing sort of says itself, allow you to get healing martial arts, etc. Melody will allow you to use magic martial arts, and Queeman is sort of like allow you to learn inners. Having a high or like moderate base stat in all of these will allow you to learn a variety of martial arts, and the more martial arts, the better, technically. Uh, I'm sure this is all very straightforward, but strength increases your damage, agility increases your like speed in combat, as well as your dodge chances. Stamina increases your ability to defend. Power affects your like martial arts uh, like damage, and affects your like MP, and also can be used in social situations. And morality affects your like how people react to you in the game. It can shift quite a lot. I think the optimal one is either 5 or 4, because um, the way that this works is like, so there's two traits in Act One that you can get. One trait, you don't recruit anyone but the dog, and it's called the loner trait, and you can get that. Or the other trait is recruit everyone. And to do that, you sort of have to min max your morality between 5 and 4 during the beginning portions of the game to recruit both the evil guys and the good guys on your team before the end of Act One. But yeah, so if you don't care about getting that trait, which will traits sort of work like equipment. They're like just sort of like honorifics that like attach themselves to you and give you stats and stuff like that. And yeah. Next up is traits. Every single time you roll, you'll get an option to get a trait. And as I explained earlier, traits being sort of like equipment. If there's a trait with like chains on it, that means it's locked to your character permanently and you can't shift it. Um, Honestly, shouldn't worry too much about traits, but try and get ones that sort of play towards your play style, if you know what I mean. But I wouldn't uh like hurt your like pull your hair out or anything like that. You can't seem to you can lock a trait or a stat, and each playthrough you will unlock one more lock, right? But if you take the trait from praying to Buddha after the tutorial section of the game, the one with no effect, and you complete the game, you will get 2 locks at the end of your playthrough. So feel free to choose whether or not what locks you want to do. This game sort of wants you to play through it multiple times. It's it is like Heroes Adventure, where there's a lot of options, but in a lot of ways, it is like Heroes Adventure, where you can get sort of locked into one path for the rest of the game. So, yeah, it's meant to be played multiple times, so enjoy it. Other than that, if you're looking for the best choices to make at the start of the game, check out my part 1 temple guide. Now, if you don't want to like deal with chance, you can actually make your character with like allotted points. However, the character that you're going to make is going to be significantly weaker. For traits, they can go up to 5 to 10 for you to purchase. And however, though, it can allow you to make that build that you want. Like, you can't tame beasts without King of Beasts. You can't recruit surrendered enemies without this. However, like you can purchase traits in the game as you go along, but this also can like help for making like, uh a character that you want to make. Like what if you want to be one-eyed? But yeah, these characters will end up being weaker than just your average character in general with randomization due to how things play out. But yeah, the option is there. But outside of that, that's all I have to say about the character creation. It's a lot more simpler than Heroes Adventure. It kind of looks more complicated, but it's a lot more simpler than it seems.